Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Rivero from SteelersSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Corum. Dave, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, Dave Rivero.
Good.
Um, Dave, we talked this morning, and we weren't sure if we are going to do the pod today or tomorrow because there wasn't much to talk about. And then about 8 hours later, the shit hit the fan, and there's plenty to talk about. Um, let's start out with the big news. Jerry Dulac reports that Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers will meet at some point before free agency starts to talk about Russell joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think about that?
I'm glad. I'm happy. Honestly, like look, I'm sorry. I would rather have 28 or 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions compared to 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I'd rather have the 98% quarterback rating to the 81.4% quarterback rating. He's just better. He's better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than anything we have right now, technically. I don't know how you can argue this. He's going to be cheap. You don't get up draft picks. And if he sucks, cut him. It's too easy. Too easy.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted out today that there isn't much downside to this. He's going to be cheap. Apparently, whatever contract he signs gets subtracted from the money that Denver Broncos owe him. So if he signs for $5 million, that's $5 million less money that the Broncos have to give him in that guaranteed money. It's called an offset. So he's got all the motivation in the world to screw the Broncos,
right,
and take the minimum deal.
Right.
To make the Broncos, because they didn't treat him very well at all.
And I guess the minimum for him would be 1.2 million. Everybody keeps throwing out 1.2 million. I have no idea why, but that's the number that keeps getting thrown out. So I'm guessing
that's the veteran minimum for him. So
okay.
You don't have to give up a draft pick. This is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Whether you think he's still at that level or not, that's debatable. It probably isn't. What downside is it? I mean, we talked a little bit on the last pod. Maybe if he doesn't actually win the starting job, he can turn into something, surly, but let's worry about that when it happens.
Dude, I somebody just showed a video of him and they said washed ? And it was a video of him, his O-line, of course, not blocking for him running out of the pocket and throwing on the run an absolute dot 50 yards down the field on the money to a wide receiver. I don't. People just got to get out. They got to let the Kenny Pickett stuff go. They got to let it go, dude.
They can't do it.
Honestly, I mean, look, I even still want them to bring in Mason. I would. The pitch I'd make to Mason is, hey, this is going to be a 3-way actual competition, and go from there, and see if he bites.
Yeah, if they sign
and actually let it be a competition, because hey, look. Maybe he is. Maybe he is done. But from what I saw in the videos I watched and going off the stats, this guy is way better than what we've had for the last 2 years.
I wouldn't say he's anywhere near washed. He's in his early 30s. Quarterbacks play into their 40s now.
Right.
As far as the Mason Rudolph thing, if they sign Russell Wilson, he's not coming back. He won't. He'll just.
I think you're right. I just don't think they
factor.
should. I still think they should attempt to try to. Bring him back.
It couldn't hurt.
Right. I'd still try to bring him back. Like I said,
don't forget,
3-way go at it, man.
Yeah, why not? Don't forget, Russell Wilson's a very prideful guy, and this is a guy who was on the cusp of a Hall of Fame career. 2 Super Bowls and what was it, back to back or 2 and 3 years?
Yeah, it was something.
Won one, lost one. Putting up Hall of Fame numbers, and now it's kind of soured. This is the one chance he has to get himself back. A couple good seasons in Pittsburgh, maybe a Super Bowl run. He's back in a Hall of Fame consideration. So he's going to be motivated. There's talent on this offense around him. He's going to have a coach who doesn't hate him because they hated him in Denver. They hung him out to dry. Say what you want about that, but that was not a good situation for him. And maybe he needed it. When we talked about that in the last pod too. Maybe he's humbled now, and he doesn't come in with this I'm the shit attitude, and I'm a franchise quarterback and I can do whatever I want. We'll see. Let's see what Mike Tomlin can do with him. I mean, honestly, Dave,
if it happens, I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to, get the horse,
Yeah, it hasn't happened
for the horse
yet,
there. But I just I just don't see how you don't do this. He's so cheap. You're not giving up any draft picks. Dude, they showed somebody tried to make him look bad too. They showed his last 5 games with Denver, and like I guess was supposed to make him look bad. And like he had 1 to 2 touchdowns in every single game. And then somebody goes, "We really got to play this game." So they showed Kenny's numbers. And it was like touchdowns 0, 0, 0. It was really bad, and it was just like, guys, how many times we gonna play this game? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe he stinks and ends up, but what's the drawback? You take your shot, shoot your shot, see what happens. It
Right.
gives me hope that this team might actually be a contender next year. If they get 80% of Russell Wilson's, peak, that's pretty damn good. That might be good enough. That might be good enough.
What did we say? We said, our Mark Collin, we're putting up the bat signal, bro. We need you to swoop in like Batman and save us from this stuff. Because honestly, Russell Wilson sounds right in an Arthur Smith offense, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I thought I saw somewhere he was like, 63%, something like with play action. He was really good, like really good with play action. I don't know, man. It just sounds like a good matchup. And then all these draft picks, if they draft another wide receiver or just go with any kind of playmaker whatsoever to add to this, oh man, it sounds really good.
Now we have to consider the source a little bit.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
Is the same Jerry Dulac that reported last week that the Steelers were absolutely not interested in bringing in any more quarterbacks. That it was going to be Pickett and Mason, and that's it. So, and that wasn't that long ago. That was like last week.
Yeah.
No interest in outside quarterbacks, I think was his tweet. And then this week, I mean, hey, you get bad information, and I mean, this could be possibly bad information too. It makes too much sense.
Look, Aditi Kinkabala was just on the evening show, whatever they're called, and was saying that the PM team show, and she was telling them how she talked to 4 different Steeler coaches or whatever at the combine, and they all were pissed off about how we all were being about Kenny Pickett and how they could, they still believe in him and all this other fucking bullshit. And it's like, okay, apparently y'all didn't get the message because Omar Khan's over here cooking. He's in on Justin Fields. He's going to talk to Russell Wilson,
And they can still, with Russell Wilson, even though they're lying, they can still spin this as it's a competition with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
They know damn well if Russell Wilson plays well, it's going to be his job. Cut and dry. But at least they can spin it to Kenny and to the fan base and maybe to Mike Tomlin, this is still a competition. Let's see what happens, blah, blah, blah. But or if you send a 2nd-round pick to Chicago for Justin Fields, it's not a competition anymore. At that point, you almost have to trade Kenny. You can't keep them both. I wouldn't think, because it's not a competition. You have to name Justin Fields a starter.
I would still keep Kenny as a backup. I mean, I think he's a viable backup. That's what I think he'd be. He's a guy that,
but you saw how pissy he was just not playing the last few games last year.
I don't give a shit. Deal with it.
True too.
Like I don't care.
You could go that
You're
route.
Getting
like
paid millions of dollars.
Yeah, you could
shut
do
the
that.
fuck up and color. Okay, I don't care. Like I just when that kind of stuff drives me insane.
Then I was listening to a podcast this afternoon, Dave, and there was a lot of talk about how the Justin Fields market's dried up. The Bears don't have any real suitors for Justin Fields. They want to trade him before the free agency. They're not getting the offers they want. And they specifically talked about the Steelers and how the Steelers were just going to sit back and wait and see what happens. That maybe those reports are right, that they're not in on Fields. They're just waiting to see how, because they know there's no other suitors. So what's the harm of floating? Oh, we're going to meet with Russ and we might sign him. Does that put pressure on the Bears to lower their asking cost and come back and say, okay, we'll take a 3, we'll take a 4, just take Justin Fields off our hands.
And that's smart. Like
that's chess.
Right.
That's playing chess.
That's chess right there. That's 3 moves ahead.
And if that's what he's doing, and it turns out they trade for Fields for a 4th, bravo.
If they get him for one of their 2 fourths, I'm going to do a backflip, probably really hurt myself, but I'm going to do a backflip of joy, because that is incredible to land him for fourth when you have two of them. So like, you really don't. Again, you're not really giving up much at all.
Yeah.
You know,
I saw it. I
I'd
saw
be
a clip
great.
on YouTube today, Dave, with these Chicago Bears podcast guys. They're freaking out.
Yeah.
They're very worried that they're not going to be able to get anything for Justin Fields.
Yep.
Because no one's making offers. That you eliminate the Raiders, you eliminate the Vikings, who seem like they're going to draft somebody. It looks like Atlanta wants Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
The Vikings want JJ McCarthy. You hear in the draft, so they have no.
Yeah,
it's Pittsburgh, and that's it.
And it's playing right into the Steelers' hands. They're about to absolutely just spank the shit out of the Bears again in these trades. Like, if they decide, if this really is what they're doing, like they're not really interested in Russell Wilson, then oh man, like I don't know. I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm liking how things are starting to unfold for them. I just about 2 weeks ago was just like, man, this sucks. We're not going to do anything. It's going to be the Kenny Pickett show, and and now we're just like, holy shit, like, because everybody's been banging that drum. Oh, they're not going to do anything. It's going to just be Kenny. They believe in Kenny, and blah 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 blah. Maybe at most they'll bring Mason back, and that's it. And you're just like, man, like, is this really what we're going to do? And here we are. Looks like no. Looks like they are actually gonna, make some moves. So I'm thrilled about it. I really am.
I am too. They're in the catbird seat right now. They can just wait these guys out. Let the market come down. We talked about it on the last podcast. You weigh Russell Wilson for no draft capital and a cheap contract versus Justin Fields, who's younger and maybe a little bit more upside, but you got to give up a pick, no matter where it is.
Yeah,
and you got to pick up that $25 million option on him too.
And here's the thing to lean you more towards Russell Wilson is the fact that if it is a minimum contract, a $1.2 million, right?
Yep.
Do you realize how much money that helps the Steelers to be able to go get some big free agent at some other position? I mean,
that's less than they were going to pay anywhere,
Mason, right? I mean, you got all these safeties got cut today. You got linebackers getting cut like crazy. Like, dude, there are some legit players that they, in theory, could afford if they really wanted to. I even like the idea of bringing in Russell Wilson and then drafting a quarterback in the 4th through 7th rounds.
They're going to have to do something like that. You need a third quarterback.
Right. Dude, if you could get, like, if Rattler fell to the 4th round, snag him. Like, take him.
Absolutely.
Dude, have him learn under Russell Wilson. That'd be amazing. Like, or a Milton in the 6th round, or, any of those guys in that 4th to 7th round area that have high upside or could be a potential diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Dude, do it. Like, and that's, but everything is really starting to fall into place in favor for the Steelers both ways.
Either way. Yeah. Either way. Either quarterback they want.
Pretty happy. Now, mind you, if 6 months from now we're like, yay, Kenny's the starter and Mason's backing him up.
I can't believe that's still going to happen at this point. With all this going on, I can't believe that they'd settle for that. With all this in front of them, they get to – I mean, I don't want to oversell it. There are other teams that might want Russell Wilson. We don't know, because for the same reason the Steelers want him. He's cheap.
He's got one other meeting before us, apparently.
Really? I didn't hear that. Do you know what the team was?
I do not. Yeah. Apparently, he's already got one meeting set up with somebody other than the Steelers. I was listening to 93.7 The Fan, and apparently he's got one other meeting before the Steelers. Oh, did you see who's a founding partner in Acrisure? Did you see that?
I saw that. Well, that was Caboli. No, Jerry Dulac reported that too, right? He tweeted that out.
Yeah, I was like,
Russell Wilson and his wife there.
Him and his wife, Ciara. Is that how you say it? I don't want to butcher it. I guess they're founding, whatever partners or whatever of Acrisure, or a company that bought Acrisure or whatever. Yeah, I was just like, that's really interesting. Like,
yep. We'll see, man. I'm more optimistic today than I have been all off season that they might do something besides Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and the kicker.
Chad Ochocinco weeks ago.
He did.
Said he heard Russell Wilson.
I forgot about that, Dave. That's a good point.
Birdie told him Russell Wilson wants to go to the Steelers.
You're right. I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and the kicker of all of it is he'll be cheaper than Mason Rudolph
Yeah.
by probably a couple $1,000,000 a season.
They're
Because you're
saying
looking at
2 year, 10 mil
5 million.
deal to get Mason Rudolph.
What is it? 2 year, 10 million? Yeah, about 5 million a season.
That's the estimation, which is what
Yep.
I said. Remember, I said 5 mil
Yep.
should get it done per.
You couldn't. You. That's a no brainer to me. That's a no brainer to me.
Yeah.
You take Russell Wilson over Mason Rudolph all day, every day.
Oh yeah, if I had to rank the three, there's no doubt it's Russell Wilson, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and then that'd be my rankings. But I think I would love for it to be a Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, and they draft someone.
That's what's gonna probably happen. That's.
I think that like like I said, if they could get Spencer Rattler, I'd be tickled pink. If they got him, Milton's got the big arm.
Yeah.
So, one of those two on day 3 would really make me happy.
All right, let's switch gears here a little bit. A little couple of former Steelers offensive linemen got new contracts today. Let's put it that way. Man, this Kevin Dotson thing, Dave, it's looking more and more like the Steelers botched him. He is
looking like they did.
He signed, I think I saw today, the third richest contract for a guard in the history of the NFL. 3 years, 48 million, 16 million per, back with the Rams. Nearly, did he make the Pro Bowl? Nearly Pro Bowl,
maybe?
All Pro,
I don't
close. Know. A great season with the Rams, regardless.
Right.
This is a guy who
top 3. He was top 3 guard in the league.
Yep. And this is a guy who was just discarded for this year's. They got a 4th round pick this year for him. This is why I question Pat Meyer. This is why I question why they kept him. When people come to me and say, oh, Pat Meyer's a good offensive line coach, I point to this. I point to Kendrick Green not playing great football, but being serviceable as a guard for the Texans.
Yep.
And I point to not one single Steelers offensive lineman ever improving since he's been here. Then
right.
I say to myself, yeah, the running game's pretty good. You want to point that to him? Well, maybe. I mean, he's got two really talented running backs, so there's that.
That helps. And then when you got 2 guards that were already good before.
Yeah, 2 veteran guards that they signed.
That kind of helps.
Yeah. So I don't know. This makes me wonder. It really does.
Oh, there's no doubt. Like, they got it, like I told you. And this is why when we bring up a guy that played both 2 positions on the offensive line, I'm very opposed to it. I'm tired of it because of this reason. The Steelers can't get out of their own fucking way with the O-line. They want this guy that plays multiple positions. So they try to, like you've always said, put a square peg in a round hole.
Yep.
And they try to do it with all these guys, and it screws them up. And they screwed up a couple of them, and now one's getting paid $48 million. When he could still be with the Steelers, and
that's a young Pro Bowl caliber guard that they just pissed away, basically.
It is, and they've already started doing this with Broderick Jones. That's why I am not opposed to them signing a center, even though I really want JPJ, Jackson Powers-Johnson. I really want that kid. I just want them to do something that gets Broderick back to left tackle.
Yeah.
They can't keep doing this. That guy even made it known he wants to be a left tackle. So
of course he does. He's a left tackle his whole life. What?
Right. So they have to go after one of these right tackles in the draft and maybe sign a center, or vice versa. Sign a right center and draft a center. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Position flexibility is fine if you're a backup. If you're Nate Herbig and you're paying this guy $3 million and you don't ever expect him to play, that's great. If he can play guard, if somebody gets hurt, if he can play center, that's fantastic. But when you draft a guy in the 1st round to be, you're starting left tackle and you stop moving him around, or you get a guy like Kevin Dotson who, they drafted in the 3rd round, but they drafted him to be a starter. You don't move him around and you don't fuck with him. And they took him out of his comfortable, I think he was a starting right tackle. They moved him guard. They moved him to left guard. So you can't do this stuff. Let these guys play their positions.
Yep.
I don't know. You're dependent on Pat Meyer to coach him up. And that's clearly not his strength, to coach these guys up. So, this is not going to work.
Oh wait, we
Um,
got a couple messages in on YouTube. Tory Jones put Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin are match made in heaven. They're both such corn dogs in their press conferences.
yeah, I mean,
And then Tanner Myers said, "We just have to hope that someone new in the building this year will slap some sense into the rest of the offensive coaching staff and get Broderick back to left tackle." Exactly,
Arthur Smith,
Tanner.
hopefully.
Thank you.
Arthur Smith,
Yes.
hopefully. The second guy
Yeah.
that signed is Chuks Okorafor, signed with them in the Patriots today. I didn't get the details on the contract. I wonder if they're going to end up missing Chuks too. Because we talked about this a couple of like earlier. What are the Steelers looking for?
Well, here's my question: Did Chuks used to be a left tackle?
What's that?
Did he used to be a left tackle? Like, you know,
what are the Steelers looking for this offseason? A cheap, serviceable right tackle. What is
you watch? You watch. The Patriots are going to be like, "Yep, we're moving Chuks to left tackle, and he's going to be incredible." You watch.
He wasn't he a left tackle in college, and the Steelers moved him to right?
I sort of feel like he was.
I think
like,
they did.
I feel like I want to go. Oh my gosh, dude! If I go look this up and I see he was a left tackle, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
I mean, it would not surprise me. I mean, really, would it surprise you? I mean, honestly, I don't know, man. This team, and it's not just offensive linemen. You know, they're doing it. They've done it to players before. It's just it generally doesn't work out when you start screwing with guys.
It doesn't.
You know?
Does not work.
It just doesn't work out. So can we stop it? Speaking of, can we stop it, Dave?
Okay.
Fucking Allen Robinson. Are they really gonna keep this guy? It was you know, kind of a fun joke for a little while. Yeah, you know, he's still on a roster. You might now we're getting reports that they're trying to redo his contract and keep him.
Well, look, I'm okay with it if it's at a lesser price. I'm okay with it. It's the 10.5 million or whatever that I'm okay with. And look, I'm hoping he gets selfish and goes, "No, I want that 10.5 million." And then they can go, "Well, you're cut. Take a hike." Like that's what I'm hoping actually happens. But look, it's okay. Like if they like him, they want to keep him around, fine. But it needs to be like at a very reduced price. Like my man's lost it. So you know, all this talk about how great he blocked at the end, I'm just like, oh, okay. Like if that's really what matters the most here in this situation, apparently, maybe as a wide receiver 4, maybe that's what you want. Is that wide receiver 4 better be a good blocking wide receiver.
Yeah, but don't you
want worth it?
Don't you want your 4th and 5th receivers to play special teams? He doesn't even play special teams.
You read my mind. I was literally about to bring that up. Was that the only thing is those guys usually are special teams guys. So unless is my man going to start running out there making tackles on special teams?
You want to venture a guess to how many receptions he had in 2023? You want to take a shot at it?
Because I was over under. Give me over or under.
I was actually surprised it was more than I thought. I don't remember this many catches. Over under 30.
I'm gonna go with over.
Yeah, barely over. 34 catches.
Yeah, I was about to say, what, 34? Yeah.
I can't remember 34 catches that man made for the life of me. 34 catches for 280 yards. That's an 8
I was going to say,
average.
Probably half of them were probably at the line of scrimmage, and he was immediately tackled to where you didn't even know who it was that caught the ball. That's probably why you don't remember there's 34 receptions. Yeah.
You can draft somebody in the 7th round that can give you 8.2 yards per catch.
Look, I'm sure it's all Matt Canada's fault, and that this guy's going to come alive and going to play so well without him.
No, he couldn't do it with the Rams either.
Well,
good couldn't point. Do it with the Rams either. So no,
good
the
point.
answer is no. All right, Allen Robinson, we went over. It was reported today that Zach Frazier is going to visit the Steelers as one of their 30 visits. So there's that.
There we go.
They're still looking at centers.
Yep.
Jerome Baker got released by the Dolphins. That's an interesting name to keep in mind. He's a good linebacker. He's kind of more of a coverage blitzing linebacker. So that's what the Steelers kind of looking for right now.
People are already predicting that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That he's going to want to play at the Landon Roberts. They're saying that's.
Yeah. Him and Landon Roberts were teammates in Miami at one point. Yep. That's the guy to definitely keep an eye on as one of the free agents.
And I'm okay with that as long as Holcomb is healthy. If not, then I'm kind of like, I kind of want to go get a guy that can cover.
Well, that's what his thing is more coverage. He's not as good.
I thought he wasn't. I thought they said he wasn't a good coverage.
No, he's not a good run attack. Can't speak. He's not good against the run.
See, I heard the different. I heard that he was like Landon Roberts.
No, no, definitely not.
Oh, well, then I'm okay with it then. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
he's only like 230 pounds.
Yeah, but
He's
I
more of a
don't give a
coverage
shit
guy.
if I need one to cover.
Yeah,
I That's fine with me then. Okay, then yeah. No, I heard he was just like Landon Roberts. I could have sworn that's what I
no,
saw.
no.
Oh, well then that's good. If he can't tackle though, that's another issue. But
It's not that he can't tackle. He's just not. That's not his strong suit. I don't think
hmm.
he's like a glaring weakness, but
I don't know. I like we gotta have a covering off ball
they have to
linebacker,
have a guy
dude.
like that.
So if Holcomb's not healthy enough, or there's a chance he might not be, then I like the
Yeah,
signing. I would go get him.
yeah. I mean, if they sign him to a significant contract, that'll tell you that they're worried about Cole Holcomb.
I was
You
thinking
know,
the same thing. Like that might
probably
be
get
a bad sign.
yeah.
A red
You could probably get
alarm
Willie Gay
there.
a little cheaper, a guy like that from the Chiefs or something like that. But if they go and spend the money on Baker, then that might tell you something.
Yeah, you're right.
What else do we have? More news today. Mitch Trubisky signed with the Buffalo Bills. I tweeted this out, bro. Buffalo, pray to God that your boy Josh Allen doesn't get hurt because you are in a world of trouble
Yeah,
if it's a Mitch
that's
Trubisky show.
I good for them.
Yeah.
You want to bring your boy back to Buffalo? You go right ahead.
Now, Dave, somebody made the point on Twitter, and I guess it's kind of legit. All the excuses the Kenny Pickett fans are using about it's Matt Canada's fault and it was the offensive line is bad. Does that apply to Mitch Trubisky too? I mean,
Matt Canada didn't force him to throw to a guy in
yeah.
triple coverage in the middle of the field. I
Yeah,
don't want to defend. Hey, look, I don't want to defend Matt Canada. His offense stinks.
Yeah.
Like the 2-and-out routes for everyone, like no, like horrible. The button hooks for everyone, like come on, no. Like his play calling, his designs, his schemes, horrendous. However, he wasn't the one actually out there watching a guy be covered by 3 people down the middle of the field and made the decision to let the ball go. Like that's on Trubisky. Like I don't. All those interceptions, every one of them was horrible. Like none of them were like tipped or the wide receiver should have caught it. It was none of that. That was all him.
No. Yeah, you're right. And
I
was one of the guys.
When you face a 2-10 Arizona team, a 2-10 Pats team at home, and you are outperformed by their 5th string quarterback because that's what he should have been. I got nothing for you. I got nothing.
I was one of those guys that wanted him to sign him. I thought,
I was the same
guy, take a shot. Didn't work out. He's just there's a reason he didn't work out in Chicago. He's just not a good quarterback. He's just not. And maybe he'll be a good backup. Maybe he'll get, maybe he could fill in a game, keep the Bills' heads above water for them. But if they have to go long term with him, they're gonna be in trouble. All right, I think that covers everything. This all happened today. Like we were literally talking in the morning. Like there's not much to talk about since the last podcast. And this all just broke, mostly all of it today.
Right,
crazy day. All right, you want to get to my latest mock draft?
Yes, and just so you know, I haven't looked at it. That way,
good.
I can just have a natural reaction to it because I'm just curious what's different from your last one.
All right, let's pull it up. Dave, I went a little off the reservation for the first round.
Not you.
I know.
You off the reservation.
This is not going to come as a surprise to you. I've been all over this guy for the last couple days.
Oh, I know. Let me guess, wide receiver.
Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU. All this talk about the Steelers, talking to Rome Odunze. They did have a formal meeting with Brian Thomas, a couple other guys. I think it's not likely, but it's a possibility the Steelers could go wide receiver in the first round. It depends a lot on free agency. If they sign a center and a corner, then wide receivers in play.
I think in the first round depends on if Deontay Johnson's there or not.
That could play into it also.
Like if you trade him, then obviously you need to go get a number 2. Yeah. Like I think that's an obvious thing. But if they don't trade him, then there's a lot of good wide receivers that are going to fall to the second round. For me personally, I feel like it's going to be round 2 that they target a wide receiver.
This guy is...
I think in the first round, they really need to nail a top pick somewhere where it's going to have an immediate impact. or something that they got to get, younger at, like linebacker, off ball linebacker, as we've talked
Yeah, but
about
then
thousands of times, right tackle, or
yeah,
if they want to do another left tackle, or a center, depending on who they sign or not. But I think you're right. Free agency is going to kind of decide that
yeah.
of which route they go. As we speak right now, I still think wide receiver will be second round or later. But look, hey, if they go that guy, I got no complaints. No complaints at all.
Let me read you some stats.
Okay.
Just about 6'3", just a hair under 6'3".
Okay.
209, ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. 32-inch arms.
Moving.
Dave, it's identical to Martavis Bryant. He ran faster. I looked it up. Martavis Bryant ran a 4.42. This guy is Martavis Bryant without the bullshit, without the bag.
Okay.
I saw a draft guy Wednesday, say he was his third wide receiver on his board. It was Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, and then Brian Thomas. Look, is it set in stone? I mean, is it likely that Steele's going to draft a wide receiver? Probably not. But I figured we just as an exercise, we do this. Infatuated with this guy. He's really fucking good. And I'm so desperate for offense, Dave. I'd be on cloud nine. I'd be on cloud nine if they made this pick.
At 20, huh?
Now, round two.
Hey, real quick, before we go to round two,
Yep.
Just playing devil's advocate here. So if JPJ is there, if Mims is there, or Guyton, or Fontanano, or any of those guys, you're still saying now. Say they haven't went and got anybody free agent wise yet. Are you still okay with him at 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really would be. This guy, I think, is going to be big time. You want to talk about impact, bang for your buck in the first round. This guy falls to 20. I think he has a bigger impact than any tackle they draft at 20.
Okay.
I think you're looking at the last tackle left. Like all those guys you mentioned, there's probably going to be one left.
Okay.
Out of that
All
bunch. Right. And you might be able to get somebody in a later round that might not be so bad. All right. Round two, I took Max Melton, cornerback, Rutgers.
Okay.
This guy tested incredible too. Let me
really
pull him
well
up real quick. He ran also a 4.39 40.
Holy fuck.
5'11", 187. 90th percentile on vertical, 98th percentile on broad jump. The talk before the draft, I remember reading about, before the combine, I remember reading about him. This is a good tackling, maybe slot corner, maybe outside corner, not super athletic. Well, they were wrong. This guy's super athletic for a second round pick. There's your corner out on the side with Joey Porter Jr. This guy's a guy I could see the Steelers liking in the second round.
No, dude, as soon as you said good tackling corner, that's it. Like that's usually what they want. But he's, if he's another corner like Joey Porter, lanky, can cover, good tackling corner, like it makes sense. But if he's got hands, does he have hands though? Did they say if he had hands?
I didn't look up his if he has
interceptions.
What his interceptions were, but
yeah,
the way he tested it was just like wow. And I watched some of the highlights of him doing the drills. He looks
pretty good, huh?
He looks legit. All right, third round. Here's your tackle, Dave. Blake Fisher.
Okay.
Offensive tackle from Notre Dame. The Steelers met with him, I believe. They did. They had a phone meeting with him.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", 310 with 34.5-inch arms. That's the Steelers mold. That's what they like.
Yes, sir.
Now,
does he play right tackle?
Well, that's might be the kicker. I think he was the left tackle for Notre Dame, but we know the Steelers. They don't mind moving him.
It's all
they
good.
Don't mind moving him at all.
Does he play center? We can just give him a shot center too. I read. God. Give number 53. Let's roll. Yeah.
Anyways, don't even. So I think Blake Fisher is a good consolation prize if they don't draft one in the first two rounds.
No, I don't mind the pick in third round. Yeah.
like I wrote in the post, he can be a swing tackle to start. Let Dan Moore, and
He has no
I
choice.
think that's
Yeah.
the plan anyway. And then maybe he outplays Dan Moore, and he plays right tackle, and everything works out. You know what I'm saying?
Every tackle is a swing tackle, Dave. Just remember that.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh's eyes for sure, 100%. All
Uh,
right,
yeah. He'd instantly be better than Moore, probably, but I guess
that's
we'll
what I
find
that's
out.
what I figured. He'd end up beating out Moore, and then we can move Broderick Jones back to left tackle, and Kumbaya, we're back to normal. Um, fourth round, first one, I took Mason Smith out of LSU, defensive tackle. I was reading
Oh,
up on
okay,
this
yeah,
guy.
okay,
And what caught my eye was they said this guy looks exactly like Stephon Tuitt.
really.
And I looked at the measurements. They are almost exactly alike. 6'5", 305, 35-inch arms. There's not a lot of tall, long arm defensive tackles in this draft.
I was gonna
So the
say that
Steelers
does
might be.
sound like Stephon Tuitt. Real tall. Yeah.
Now, not nearly as productive as Stephon Tuitt was in college. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school, but
Went downhill then? Is that what you're telling me? He went
had
downhill
kind
in
of an
college?
average college career, not great. There might be some untapped potential with this guy.
Like a lot of did he get a lot of sacks or
Again, I didn't look at. Well, he's a defensive tackle, so I'm sure he didn't have many sacks. But
right,
I
but I mean
think,
like we're looking for a guy in the range of 5 because they like their D linemen to get pressure on the quarterback. So like
yep,
if he's not even in that range, then it's kind of like I don't know. You know what I'm
just the
saying?
body type. I think in the fourth round,
Yeah, I
it
mean
might be
I
worth it.
guess.
My other fourth round pick was Bo Limmer, center from Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I really do believe they're going to sign a center. I think they want a veteran guy calling, protections and doing all that stuff.
I
And then I think
just I just want to remind you what rounds they drafted Kendrick Green and Dan Moore in.
no, this guy's a backup project type guy that maybe comes in and starts someday. Not we're not
Project.
plugging in him. We're not plugging him in day one. This is a guy.
What are we doing here? What are you doing? You're doing the same shit they did.
No, but I'm assuming they sign a veteran to
Oh,
play.
okay.
Is
Okay.
what I'm saying.
So they already signed a
Yes.
center for veterans.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. They want a veteran guy that can, like I said, call protections, be that guy, and then they draft a guy that they can bring along, like Bo Limmer.
My PTSD here about
Yeah, I wouldn't do that to you.
you're like, good lord.
I'm not going to go and mock a guard to move to center to play to start. Even I wouldn't do that. Kevin Colbert, Mike Tomlin might. This guy tested real well. He was 9.8 RAS score, Dave.
That's really
centers.
good. Wow.
So not bad. What's his numbers? Shoot, I didn't put his height here, but he's 6'4", and I think he had 34-inch arms. So another
big
long arm guy.
Yeah.
Decent prospect for a center. Let him work his way towards a starting role at some point. Round 6, Sion Vake, safety from Utah. I noticed the Steelers had a meeting with him at the combine. Not real fast, 4.61. Kind of.
But it's a safety though, right?
Yeah, it's a safety. He did well on the other. His RAS score was 8.31. It's respectable.
I'm gonna guess he probably plays faster.
And he's a good tackler. He's a strong safety. So,
and I mean, like speed's important, but it's not as important at the safety position.
Yeah, especially if you're playing in the line of scrimmage.
When you're safety, it's amazing how much different it is. Size isn't important. Speed isn't as important. As long as you can cover and as long as you can tackle, you're fine. Yeah. Like, you ever notice that? But with corner, you better be fast. You better be tall. You better be. Yeah. You have all these extra requirements.
Yeah, you're out there on an island
compared to safety. Yeah,
you're out there on an island by yourself.
So 4'6", okay. Height. If he's not a big guy, fine. At safety, but as long as he can cover and tackle, man.
He actually played running back for a couple games for Utah this year because they ran out of running backs. Believe it or not.
Running back.
They had so many injuries that they went to him, and I heard he played pretty well as running back actually. But he's definitely a safety. He's definitely a defensive player. But position flexibility, Dave. There's your guy, 6th round.
There's our third string running back.
There you go. Killing 2 birds with one stone.
Got him. They're gonna be like, you play special teams, you're our guy.
I noticed the Steelers had a formal meeting with him, so that kind of pointed me in that direction. And round 7.
Here we go.
I hate it. I don't like it. But I have a feeling the Steelers are going to do it.
Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Torrey Taylor,
There it
punter,
is.
Iowa.
There it is.
They might even do it in the 6th round and really stab you in the
Oh.
heart.
Oh man, dude.
But yeah, this one I think I might mock him a punter every time going forward, unless they sign somebody on me
Yeah.
and take me off the ledge. But yeah, I think they're gonna do it, Dave. They're gonna draft a punter.
Oh man. I look, dude, you're not look, they've already done it once, so I wouldn't put it past them to do it again. So
Yep.
If they do, it is what it is. I hate it. There's so many guys that are, projected third, fourth rounders that fall that
I know.
but they do this all the damn time where they take guys and you're just like, what are you doing? So I don't know. I mean,
Dave,
like
I redid my 7th round pick like 4 times. I had a running back I liked that ran a 4.4 that was going to go in the 7th round. The wide receiver from Pitt I had, Bo Rimmer, something like that. He ran like a 4.40. I'm like, oh, maybe that's a good 7th round. But I'm just like, they're gonna draft a punter. They're gonna draft. I'm wasting my time looking up these, guys, and they're gonna draft a punter.
I mean, that was Colbert that did that. It wasn't Omar Khan. So
yeah, but it's not Colbert that made it. That kept him.
Andy Weidel goes, no. Like, who came up with this dumb shit?
Let's hope not.
Yeah, but I mean, you could be right. I just, again, I cling to hope that Omar Khan and Andy Weidel are just, put a stop to some of the dumb shit we've seen in the past.
You would hope.
Hey, they're giving me hope right now. I'm starting to have more hope with all the stuff that's been happening lately.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with last year's draft. It was fantastic.
Last year's offseason, last year's draft.
Yep.
And now in this offseason, they're pursuing quarterbacks, checking in. Up to this point, they're making me feel pretty good. You had to talk me off the ledge a month ago with Arthur Smith hiring. But right now, I'm okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm liking the Arthur Smith hire more and more. The more I get to think about it and digest it, and
yes and no. It depends on who's the quarterback. Let me just put it that way. I like Russell Wilson in Arthur Smith's offense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like that sounds right. So
I mean, I think I hate to say it, but Kenny Pickett's probably pretty good for Arthur Smith's offense too, if he can get his head out of his ass.
Possibly, yes. But you gotta, let your receivers run the routes first before you run out of the pocket. But anyways, I know. I feel like Russell Wilson fits what Arthur Smith would want to do with the play action, run the ball. And let's not forget, Russell Wilson can run the ball pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still got legs when he wants to.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Russell Wilson doesn't get hurt every time somebody touches him.
No, I think he played every game I was
gonna say,
or some that one of the games.
That's the other thing too that people don't take into account with all this with Kenny Pickett is that every time the guy gets fucking touched, he's injured.
The injury thing is a serious issue.
But you got guys like Russell Wilson that, my God, that guy, he's always in. He's not hardly ever injured. So he might be 35 going 36, but it's not like a hard 36 where this guy's just been obliterated, his whole career with injuries. Or at least I don't think he has. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, he's been accused of making some business decisions and running out of bounds and maybe chucking the ball instead of running a couple of times over the course of his career. So he's not been hurt a lot.
I vaguely do remember stuff like that too.
Which, you know what? If you're a $30 million quarterback, I don't really mind that.
Yeah,
Stay on the field. That's the one position you don't mind them making business decisions and staying in the games.
And some of them make sense. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you got to dive for first down to try to win the game, Mitch Trubisky, and instead you sit on your ass hide short of the first down marker.
I had forgotten about that.
That's going to piss me off. But if you're running towards the sideline and you're about to get crushed by, a 250-pound linebacker, good. Run out of bounds. It's fine. As long as it wasn't a, third and whatever. Yeah, we're good.
When we were talking about Arthur Smith, does it worry you that they made him keep Pat Meyer? They made him, keep Eddie Faulkner. They made him keep who's the quarterback coach that's not the quarterback coach anymore?
Mike Sullivan.
Mike Sullivan. Don't you think he should have had a clean slate?
They promoted Mike Sullivan, got him the fuck out of there. And I think Faulkner did a really good job with the running. I think he earned the right to stay. Okay.
But those guys were both
And
technically the offensive
what if
coordinator.
Arthur Smith liked him and wanted to keep him?
That's one thing we don't
and
know. That's one thing we don't know.
I don't want to defend it because remember, I still there's still a part of me that's not happy about all this. But I'm trying to be positive here. You know, Faulkner, I think, deserved to stay. I think he actually earned his paycheck as a coach.
Isn't it weird though? Yeah, like I know it was only temporary, but you were the guy, and now you've basically been demoted, and someone else is the guy. You know what I'm saying with Faulkner and
it was a temporary thing.
Sullivan?
I mean, he even split duties with Sullivan. Like he didn't get given all of the keys. He got given, you know, the key to the trunk or something. Like he wasn't given the whole thing. So it's not that big of a deal. He was acting. He knows he was acting. Offensive coordinator, whatever you want to call it. You don't
think there's any resentment there? Like, no. Eddie Faulkner thinking he could have done the job.
No, I think they told him outright that, hey, this is a temporary thing. We need you to fill in. And that's it.
I guess I can live with it. You know my feelings on Pat Meyer. That's the one I wish they would have changed out.
Well, I don't
want to turn this
completely.
Into beat up Pat Meyer podcast, but offensive line coach is so important.
It is.
That's such an important. And if they both ran, they run kind of different schemes. The Steelers were kind of a gap. Kind of towards the end, that's what made them successful. And Arthur Smith's more of a zone kind of guy. I don't know. I see possible issues popping up.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. I don't think they're going to see issues from Eddie Faulkner. I think he's one of those Mike Tomlin guys where like what Mike Tomlin decides is gospel.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And
I
got one for you. He got promoted technically, right? Because Canada got fired, and then went on to be how pissed off he was that Matt Canada got fired. And then talked about how best friends they are.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a guy that was like, yay, I got, he was upset, dude. So like, I don't think it's like that for him. I think he's just a good soldier, if you will. He's going to do whatever Mike Tomlin says. And that's it.
And here's another thing. Okay. You're absolutely right with everything you said. Now, say Arthur Smith wants to do things one way, and Mike Tomlin doesn't want to do it that way. Does he? What's Faulkner going to do?
He's going Mike Tomlin. He's going Mike Tomlin. Are you kidding me?
And Sullivan too. And I worry of the Mike Tomlin shadow.
There's going to be so many changes. So many changes. I can't wait.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Weird.
I'm a little worried about that, but
I've been worried for 2 months now. Okay. Yeah. You're the one that talked me into this being okay. Don't go back now. You're the one who's just like, hey, this is great.
I still think he's the best option for what Mike Tomlin will allow. Right? What Mike Tomlin will allow to happen on offense. Arthur Smith's probably the best guy.
Here's the thing. In the end, the quarterback's going to decide whether this goes better or not. In the end. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes in Canada's offense could still make this look good.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how good Patrick Mahomes is.
Yeah.
You take a Russell Wilson, you plug him in here, he's going to make it look good. Compared to a Kenny Pickett or any other mid QB you plug in here. They're not going to do as well because they're just not that good. Period.
Yeah, even at his age, the ceiling's higher. It's much higher.
So, and that's the truth. That's the truth of it. And the truth of it is whatever quarterback they go with is going to decide their fate. And they know that. They know that their fate is all based on the QB. Weird how all of a sudden we're talking to other QBs while at the same time saying, oh, we believe in Kenny Pickett. Sure.
Let's hope it happens. I mean, it's still possible. It's Kenny Pickett. It's Mason Rudolph. It's draft pick.
Yeah.
When all is said and done.
You're right.
Hopefully it is.
Russell Wilson's got a meeting with somebody else. They might not let him walk out of that building.
That's totally possible, Dave. If he's meeting another team.
But the best part, now that I know this, the part where you said that it minuses from the offset, that works in their favor because then he can't make any extra money.
Yeah, he can't. And if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, is there a better team than the Steelers that doesn't have a good starting quarterback?
No, it's not that. Is there a better team with a better defense?
Yeah.
And as many pieces on offense.
That's what I mean.
Remember, They have a great catching tight end. They have two good wide receivers. They have two great running backs instead of one. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything else really as a quarterback coming in. But to
That's what I
get the
mean.
stout
This is the
defense
best
on
spot for
top
him.
of it, can
Yep.
you imagine? Hey, you want to come have a defense with T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Cam if he's healthy, right?
Yep.
Joey Porter Jr. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, I think of as a quarterback, I'm like, yeah, because when I fuck up, they're probably going to bail me out.
Yep. I mean, you
That's
go to
why,
Minnesota, their defense stinks.
right?
They
Yeah,
got
dude,
Justin Jefferson and a couple good receivers, but
right. Do you really want to
they're
go to
not.
like Atlanta? No.
Atlanta, they're not winning the Super Bowl. The
They have a
Raiders,
couple pieces. They have pieces on offense, absolutely.
yeah.
London and Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
They got I'm sorry, and the running back, Bijan Robinson.
Bijan
They
Robinson,
got all
yep.
them guys, absolutely. But that defense is putrid, and for
Yep.
every point you score, your defense is going to give up 2. So 2 points.
Yeah,
So,
no, you're right.
yeah.
The Raiders, you're not winning the Super Bowl with the Raiders. They're
And that's a whole nother.
you know,
They've got a couple years. Don't get me wrong. I like Antonio Pierce. He really turned them around
yeah.
to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they need more than just a quarterback. They need O line. They need wide receivers. They need tight ends. They need everything really.
The Patriots, he's not going
No.
to if he has a half.
They're a couple years off too. There's just no way.
Hey, who else is there? That's about it for quarter. I mean,
That's about it.
People are talking to me the Giants are out on their quarterback. They might want one, but that's another team that needs a lot of work.
The thing is that you got 3 quarterbacks in the draft. 3 teams are going after those 3 quarterbacks. So they're out.
You would think so.
They're not interested. So. Like I mean, said, this is all falling into place for the Steelers. The Steelers are so fucking lucky. And I'm glad. But again, they have to take that step and take advantage of it. And will they?
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to tell you something right now. If Omar Khan signs Russell Wilson or trades a 4th for Justin Fields, I want his statue outside Acrisure Stadium right fucking now. Because he'll be the first guy ever to do this on top of his drafts, his offseason, his free agency, all that stuff like he did last year this time. No one's done this for the Steelers. It's always been go with the flow, struggle and die with loyalty for, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Let's end it on this. You have a choice. Justin Fields for a 4th or Russell Wilson?
Oh, dude, that's
Who do
tough.
you want?
Why are you doing that to me? Why are you doing that to me? Oh.
Geez, that might be if nothing's happened by Sunday, that might be a Sunday poll question on top of it.
That's so tough. You know,
it really is tough, man. Think about it this way: you've just traded Kevin Dotson for Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson, and there's a couple reasons why. One, not having to pay him lets me go get a Patrick Queen. Lets me go get a top safety. Lets me go get a top linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay. 2, I keep that draft pick.
Yep.
3, I want to win now. I want to win right now. I'm adding a Super Bowl winning quarterback to this roster who still looks like he's got it. Right? Yeah. As opposed to giving up a 4th, which I know is not that big of a deal, but however, you get a guy with 40 turnovers in 3 years.
Yeah.
His 16 touchdowns to 9 interception ratio last year. You don't know if the kid's going to actually have it, right? Yeah. But with Russell Wilson, you know you've got something. So that's the route I would go. I would go ahead and go with Russell Wilson. I just think that there's too many more positives with him. They can make this team even better with him because of the money. Because here's the thing, Justin Fields, you're going to have to pay him, was it $22 million?
$25 million the second year.
Oh,
if you pick up the 5th-year option, you don't have to. You can just let him walk.
I'm saying this season, how much would you have to pay him?
That's like $5 million, $6 million.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, he's on his rookie contract. He's not making.
Yeah, but I thought because he was like a number 1, was he number 1 overall?
I don't think so. Let me look it up.
I could have sworn it was like a $20 million thing for him. I could have sworn it was, because that's the whole reason why I was thinking Russell Wilson over him.
Let's see.
I could have sworn his contract was like, it was way more.
Nope. He is, $5 million.
Oh,
Base salary
Chase.
1.6, signing bonus 2.7, and roster bonus 1.6. So about $6 million.
Okay. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought. It's still more money than Russell Wilson, though. Still about $5 million more. So,
yeah, for sure.
But no, I think for now I'd go with Russell Wilson because I know he can do it.
One thing to keep in mind, and I agree with, I think I would take Russell Wilson too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Russell Wilson's a 1-year deal. And then after that, Denver's off the hook. And if he has a good season, now you got to re-sign him, and he's going to be looking for
his last
30,
payout,
$40 million a season. So
it's something to consider. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I'm almost positive that Denver's off the hook once he's
they could shock us and sign him to like a 3-year deal.
I wouldn't.
The con artist, baby. You don't know what this guy's going to do.
I want Russell Wilson
I'm just
hungry.
saying you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah. I want Russell Wilson hungry. I want him playing for his next contract. I want the best possible. Then we'll live with it after. If he's
you're
really,
right.
really good, then you sign him. Fuck it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you're not going to sign him. He's 35, I think. So you're not going to sign him a 5-year deal. You're going to sign him for 3 more years or something and make a run. It's TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. This is their prime. You make the run now. I agree with you. Sign him and let's go.
We're wasting their years. We're wasting TJ and Minkah and Cam. We got to win now. I like. Don't get me wrong. Fields for a 4th is a steal. Well, I don't want to say steal. It's good for us.
It's a reasonable deal. It's a reasonable
deal.
Yeah.
So, but I want to win now. I can't chance. I can't chance it.
Yeah.
And that's my thing.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that's all I got. Unless you got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, you can follow me on X at SteelersSank16. Email the show at daver@SteelersSanctuary.com. Check out my mock draft and my free agent targets I've been doing for the Steelers Sanctuary website. Go over there and check that out. Dave, give me your stuff. Let's get out of here.
Yep. You can find me on X at DMC3SSP. You can find me on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at SteelersSancPod. If you guys like to do the sports books, go to signupexpert.com/nothingness. Sooner or later, I'm going to get around to starting this podcast up again with the Pirates. I just trying to time it right, guys. But I'll be getting back to it soon enough.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.